Ivory Tower has taken the lead initiative in the campaign against this monstrous viral disease, which have become which have reported in the first states of Nigeria. Any kind of fever condition where body temperature goes beyond 38 degrees with absence of a clinical response after 78 hours of anti-malarial treatments and broad-spectrum antibiotics, with any of these major signs, which include bleeding from the nose, mouth, rectum, puzzling of the ears, or acute deafness, edema of the neck or face, or spontaneous convulsion, is possibly a case of Lassa fever and should be reported and possibly treated immediately. Though it has been confirmed that the virus cannot survive at temperatures above 3 degrees C when heated above over 5 minutes. We are advised to avoid chasing rats and rabbits. Another precautionary measure is to sun dry food items on raised platforms to avoid being infected by these crawling rodents, as it is the desire of this administration to arrest the early spread of this viral disease. I'm particularly delighted by the theme of this lecture, the personality and assistance of the guest lecturer. I have no doubt that the desired impact will be met. I hereby declare this program open and therefore urge you to take full advantage of this opportunity to inform all well and to be well reminded of our division and responsibility. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chancellor. We have come to talk about Lassa fever. And we won't talk about Lassa, we'll start talking about rats. And that is why all the way from Ekpoma campus, Dr. Osuya brought his people to tell us about rat before we invite the chairman of the organizing committee, Dr. S.U. Igedosa, to also give us a goodwill message. But permit me to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Irowa. Dr. Irowa, we want to welcome you, sir. He is the Director of Disease Control, Edo State. Just a very short presentation from Ekpoma campus.
Jesus Christ. Go. Jesus Christ. See rats now, rats are everywhere. Please. Our environment is better. Rats everywhere. Never be the chance. For your full life. For your full life. Never charity China. I'm so happy now. People of rats. Hey! I will be cool this. Please forget. I can't. Who does that? My very reason why is just for attention to my body. As you all know, our certain times are full and overflowing. The gutters are blocked. See, ever since that was established, we've been living like savage. And rather, we've divided the rat to come and even be our glad.
Wait, who dey serve? They live like savage. Na the guy who dey serve. I don't be federal government. Finish up.
Just hear me out. Just hear me out. I need us to put the millions of two conflict. I don't want to say.
I don't. Come, one man.
I told for a leader of 200 so you can clean up our environment. I didn't tell you I want to get money.
I don't know. When you finish with your meeting, the leader, you have the number there. The leader, now you want to keep block my head. If I stop and kick you.
That's true. Okay, we are viewing it. I thought you said there's a network. No, I want to change the network.
So that is the thing. Can you imagine? I should follow her. I want to feel our surroundings. Then I follow her. And so my people, you can see, I tried my best. I tried my best to make them feel their money so that feel our environment. To stop whatever is going on. I didn't feel. You know, I want to see them.
Take it as centralized. Zoom in. Okay, nice.
know about this virus? Well, it started from the town, modern Borno State, called Lassa. In the year 1969, when 2 missionary nurses died of this virus. Since then, it has become rampant, and it has even brought this way to our house. Then, what are the transmitters of this virus? What are the transmitters of this virus? I would like to know it. Even though our mommies and daddies say, that they play with this pest, they are rats. Rats! These same rats our mommies and daddies play with when they are young. They took joy in it, went to work with it. These same rats have come to want us back. Oh, I'm sorry I must say that. They come to want us back. How we can get this virus? For we students, I will call our best. As for the bodies, they won't want to agree. But for me, I'll say, Gary, students, Gary, please, let us be careful. These rats play with us in our rooms. They jump around and we jump around with them. But then they laugh this Gary, and when they do, they are dropping and the urine dry with our Gary, and we innocent. Oh, we take it and we soak it. Why? Because we had a long day class and we want to refresh ourselves. Refresh them. Please, another way by which we can contact this virus is number 2, by giving this rat the 3 major things we need in this life. Number 1, food. Number 2, water. Number 3, shelter. I'm sure we agree with us that this rat enjoys staying with us in our own cozy rooms. And for mommies and daddies, they have both where it's dark, very cold, and comfortable for them to stay. So, how we want us? A way to prevent this is number 1, when cleaning our rooms, we should make use of blood. That is give us to use. If we are to use brushes, please, and please, I beg you, cover our noses so that we don't inhale this dust that this rat has dropped their droppings and urine. Our parents, our students. What do you think this one? No, she loves her son. I told my neighbors, they refused. They refused to contribute 200. No, he says, he asked us. But then, I'm the enlightened one, and I'll just give it to him. So I don't get to keep right there. And so, with this short drama of part, I hope we'll be able to show you how dangerous this virus is. Thank you.
What should Mama Osaro do? Look at Osaro now. And move ahead. And then kill all the rats. And that is why we are here to learn more. Thank you very much, students from the Theatre Arts Department. Chief Dr. Stephanie Idedosa. Please come forward for your goodwill message. We want to acknowledge the presence of the University Orator, Professor Eddie Denaro. Welcome, sir.
I would like to stand on the existing protocol. I want to especially welcome my Vice Chancellor, Principal Officers, my daddies among you guests here, and especially the University of Benin community. Great universe! Great universe! Great! Having said that, I want to take you another round of applause for the theatre artists. I'm sure the message has been passed. to ensure that we build the resilience of the university community for good personal and community hygiene. You must listen attentively to the lecture and find out what you can do differently to ensure that even if you are exposed to the virus, you know exactly what to do and do not fall victim of this potentially fatal disease. From the community point of view, we have to learn to be our neighbor's keeper. Your carelessness, throwing food and refuse everywhere, would endanger everyone else. So I'm sure that by the end of this lecture, we will all become empowered to be citizens of the University of Benin and citizens of Nigeria for that matter, that are well informed to champion the cause against Lassa fever. So far, since the task force was inaugurated on the 25th, we have embarked on a series of empowerment activities. The first target of our attention were the healthcare workers. Like you will be finding out, they are particularly vulnerable because of the intense nature, the intimate way health workers relate with cases of Lassa fever. I'm sure you've all visited a health center of some sort. So they can inhale the aerosol directly or get exposed to the body fluids through various things, we should be hearing in the lecture. So we have a seminar for them to get them ready for early detection and surveillance. And we've also had a stakeholders training of trainers on issues of Lassa, good hand washing system, and community hygiene generally, such that they will step down this information at the faculty directorate and even religious communities, so that everyone will become competent with what we need to do to become truly resilient against Lassa fever. Mind you, the primary focus of the university is for us to become a center of excellence for research, because the essence of UNIBEN are twofold in the global: knowledge for service. We actually started off by embarking on the social capital mobilization, because as you would expect, the university is full of experts in various fields, notably environmental, sanitation, and toxicology. Our veterinary doctors, community health physicians, nurses, lay people, that together and in partnership we will develop this community and emancipate it, from being a rat-infested environment to an environment that is actually resistant to rat invasion. And last, if not the most important, is the research. We have created an ICT platform, and we shall be inviting, that we're inviting you, if you're interested in that, in researching in the area of Lassa, that is epidemiology, or clinical or pharmaceutical. Mind you, there's just one drug for now, without the rain. And I know we have a robust capacity to enlarge the scope of treatment, because monotherapy has its challenges. Drug resistance. What do we do if the drug begins to fail? So the university to be ready to write proposals and key into available funds, such that University of Benin will actualize that vision to become a center of excellence for Lassa fever research. Mind you, the only treatment center in this country for Lassa is located at Iruwa, which is in Edo State. There are only 2 centers for diagnosing Lassa. One at the same Ekpoma and Ambrose. So you find that there's a lot of room. We are UniBest, and I begin to provide leadership for national development in the campaign to prevent and control Lassa. While I say, now go there, download, please enjoy listening. I believe we now become very educated, and I charge you to get copies of the booklets when they become available, because he is the expert. Well, the Citation is to tell us all about it. He's the expert in this part of the world regarding Lassa fever. So it would really be a framework for anyone who wants to work in that field. Daddy, I welcome you, and indeed I welcome you. I want to acknowledge the members of the task force. We are indeed a multidisciplinary, multi-sectoral, and multidisciplinary, multi-jurisdictional team working together in partnership to ensure that the vision of the university is actualized to become a center of excellence for Lassa fever research. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you. And thank you. May I invite Dr. Irowa for his goodwill investment.
Network, okay. So for as long as he's saying live, if it doesn't, it goes off, just for you to come here. Never to come here. So you start doing that from here. It's not open. First of all, close this one. The best close this one. If it goes off, the best close, you can go there. So you start hang out from there. From the United States,
something that has been bothering us, especially has that to do with this extremely large community, university community. We in the Ministry of Health have been in the forefront of trying to ensure that epidemics are not established in Edo State. But unfortunately, in the past few years, Edo State has continuously been one of the states with the highest prevalence of Lassa fever in this country. After the initial point where the fever or Lassa fever disease originated. As a ministry, we had a lot of structures in place to ensure that Lassa fever is contained in the country and in the state in particular. For the State Ministry of Health, we have existing structures which have been perpetually been in place in terms that we have a surveillance system well established. This is actually what brought us to the knowledge that there is a Lassa fever outbreak in Edo State. Since the beginning of this year, we've had very high incidence of Lassa fever outbreak. And for the state, we are still on the top of this outbreak. But we have been doing so much to try to reduce this scourge of deaths that have been occurring from these Lassa fever incidences in Edo State in particular. For us, what we have as a structure is that we perpetually picked up the first case as they come, or the cases as they come into the country or into the state. Our disease surveillance team are all in our 18 local government areas. We have our representatives in all the local government areas, and we have a structure in collaboration with the WHO that is functional. And what do we actually do in disease surveillance? For any reported case of notifiable disease, we notify the appropriate quarters and eventually send this information to the highest authority, while we also use this information for action. And what are the actions we have been carrying out in Edo State? With the support of and encouragement of the governor, we had our jingles on air in the last few weeks. And before this era, we had our jingles on air. But because of issues that borders on continuity, we, in terms of financing, the jingles went down. But currently, the jingles of Lassa fever prevention is already on air in Edo State. We are also doing what we call contact tracing. I watched the drama, and it was something that was obviously absent. Following the case of Lassa fever confirmed in that family, nobody discussed contact tracing. We have been doing contact tracing for all those cases that we have been having confirmed cases in. What we do is to follow up and try to pick up those cases early enough so that they don't come up at the terminal stages that we have been seeing in those states, which has actually been responsible for most of the mortality we have been seeing. So when we start treatment on time, using our system that is already operational, once notified, we most times can reduce the mortality that will come out from any infected case. While awareness creation has been topmost on our list, we have also been partnering with all well-meaning Edo State people and Nigerians to help us see Lassa fever prevention as our own, not the state government's business.
That is why I must particularly thank you and the team for accepting this, establishing this committee to ensure that the awareness is created in this large community. And if we have this massive awareness, which has never been over the years, I think the issue of Lassa river reduction or incidence of Lassa river reduction will become an achievable thing in our own states. So that in subsequent years, we will not be among the list of those states with Lassa fever. In addition to this, we've had stakeholders meetings, and we have been meeting with various interest groups to help us carry this information of Lassa fever prevention across to everybody, through to especially the rural areas where this prevalence is extremely high. Really, no local government has been spared. We know that in this particular prevalence or epidemic that we are experiencing, some areas of the state have been more affected. But that's not to exclude even this local government we are in. And we are working hard, tirelessly, to ensure that this level of awareness that is being created today is sustained at all levels and in all institutions and in all rural communities in the state. And with this, we want to encourage all of us who have information from here today, noting that the person that's going to give us our talk is one of the biggest names in terms of control of Lassa fever in the country. Agbonlahor, before I even got into disease control, I've heard so much about him in terms of being one of the forerunners in terms of persons that help to give us information on how to prevent Lassa fever. I think with him on board, we are very sure we have the best team to give us the right education today on how to control this epidemic and subsequently prevent the infection in our states. On that note, I want to particularly thank the VC again and also appreciate all the teams here present, particularly the other sectors. I noticed the presence of the vet team, the agricultural team, the information team, they are all present, and with all of us working together, I think those states will become one of those states free of Lassa fever. We probably know that we are still one of the states with the highest prevalence, but with this action, in the last few days, we have not had any new cases. That's not since all over. But if we sustain this tempo, I think we will be free of Lassa fever, and that's being done. Then we can actually go on to say that we achieved our goals of this public lecture, and we all do everything possible, the glory of God, to ensure that we sustain that goal that we have achieved. On that note, I want to thank VC once more, and thank the distinguished audience here present for coming to listen to this exciting lecture that I expect you're going to hear. And if we do justice to it, we'll convey this information back to our brothers and sisters, our parents, and our families back home, and in the rural area in particular. And we'll do justice and eventually have a new state as Lassa free. Thank you very much, and it's been a pleasure being part of this ceremony.
Thank you very much, Dr. Deko. May I invite Professor Eddie Eragni, the University Orator, who will introduce our guest lecturer, Professor Eddie Eragni.
The Vice Chancellor, sir, our respected lecturer for today is an eminent, distinguished, erudite, well-accomplished, world-class scholar, a deft, well-tested, and astute administrator, Professor Dennis Agbonlahor, our former Vice Chancellor, Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer, Lassa Research Laboratories and Medical Center, Benin City, and a member of the Special National Committee on Lassa fever. Born in Obobe village in Ekpoma local government area of Edo State on November 2nd, 1945, Professor Dennis Agbonlahor received his Western education from St. Matthew's Anglican Primary School, Benin City, Holy Trinity Grammar School, Sabongida Ora, National Veterinary Research Laboratory Training School, POM, Addington Technical College, London, and College of Medicine, University of Lagos, Nigeria. He holds both master's and doctorate degrees in medical biology, microbiology from the University of Lagos. Professor Agbonlahor was a former Vice Chancellor of Ambrose at the University, Ekpoma, 1999 to 2004, having earlier served as Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic between 1994 to 1997. He was the Dean of the Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences of the same university, 1993 to 1995, and Dean of the Faculty of Natural Sciences, 1988 to 1992, all in the anointed university, Ambrose University, Ekpoma. He was appointed Professor of Medical Biology on 14th June 1988. As at date, Professor Agbonlahor has to his credit over 122 scholarly publications in local and international journals. Our distinguished lecturer today, Professor Agbonlahor, has over the years passionately worked for the recognition and upliftment of his profession, medical laboratory sciences. He served as the president of the Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists of Nigeria between 1988 and 1996. He was the chairman of the governing board of Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria from 2005 to 2007, and was reappointed for a second term from 2009 to 2011 for his sterling and record-breaking performance. He played a major role in the transformation of the training of medical laboratory scientists in Nigeria from the former diploma program to the current 5-year professional university degree program. Professor Agbonlahor belongs to several academic societies and professional bodies, many of which have also recognized him. He is a fellow of the Academy of Science. He is a fellow of the Royal College of Pathologists, UK. Fellow of the Royal Society for Tropical Medicine and Hygiene, London. Fellow of the Institute of Biomedical Sciences, London. Fellow of the Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria. Fellow of the Microbiology Society of Nigeria. And in 2012, Professor Agbonlahor was appointed the African Society for Laboratory Medicine Ambassador for Nigeria. He was also appointed a member of the Presidential Committee of Experts on Interprofessional Relationships in the Public Health Sector in Nigeria in September 2013. As already indicated, he is currently a member of the Special National Committee on the Control of Lassa fever in Nigeria. Professor Dennis Agbonlahor is the Managing Director, Chief Executive of Lahore Research Laboratories and Medical Center, Benin City. The laboratory currently has state-of-the-art molecular diagnostic equipment for forensic and parentage DNA testing, including A310 genetic analyzer, which the Honorable Minister of Health graciously unveiled on 5th August 2013 to sometimes scientifically resolve issues of parenthood where there are disputes. This laboratory is one of the facilities where laser fever is currently confirmed in Nigeria. Professor Agbonlahor is happily married to Lady Rhoda Morenke Agbonlahor, and they are blessed with 5 lovely children. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, our most distinguished guests, it is this first-class, almost consummate, quintessential, revered and audacious academic researcher, a man of mercurial, phenomenal, and legendary clouds in the field of pragmatic and problem-solving science, a pace-setter, a doyen, and sagacious defender of the discipline of the medical microbiology. The internationally recognized and acclaimed special field marshal in the war against Lassa fever, Professor Dennis Agbonlahor, that I now respectfully invite to deliver this very apt, timely, auspicious, topical, and of course, great lecture in the greatest University of Benin on the topic, combating Lassa fever in Nigeria, a national health challenge. Professor, sir.
The Vice Chancellor, one of the greatest universities in this country, the Deputy Vice Chancellor, the Registrar, all principal officers of the institution here present, my mentor, who was one of the foundation staff of this institution, Professor Ekpoma, distinguished professors of this institution who are here in the hall at the moment, lecturers, non-teaching staff, students of the institution, great Nigerian students, great Benin, great Nigerian students, great. Distinguished invited guests for this lecture, ladies and gentlemen. Before I start, I want to particularly express my joy and delight and say how pleased I was when those young children came to this stage to give us that little play. I think they should be encouraged. It is very, very well. Now, in our play, and what has been said so far before this particular lecture this morning, I think that the audience has almost had enough. To the extent that they can live here happily telling others how we can control Lassa over this country. But I have been invited to say a few things to you. And so I want to say we are delighted to be here to talk about this topical issue, combating Lassa fever in Nigeria, a national health challenge, which is actually particularly so because of the time of the year and what is happening in our country today. I want to congratulate the University of Benin for taking the lead. I also want to say that exactly about 3 years ago, not exactly 3 years ago, I was on this same podium, this same hall, the 12th of February, 2003, or 13, sorry, when I was invited by the University's College of Medical Sciences to deliver a lecture also on Lassa fever. I want to thank the university authorities for giving me fit to speak on Lassa fever to this great audience today. Now, I give you a little background to what Lassa fever is all about. As a severe viral disease that is now endemic in Nigeria. And the disease has been reported in Nigeria, in Syria alone, in Guinea, in Liberia, and recently in Central Park, African Republic of Congo, so reported in Mali, and we also have a seroconversion report from Senegal. And what you are seeing there are prevalence, seroconversion prevalence of disease in Nigeria, 21%. In Syria alone, between 8 and 52%. And of course, in Guinea, between 4 and 55%. I'd like to say that the disease is one of the hemorrhagic diseases affecting the blood, liver, the spleen, and throat, which Ebola and Marburg fevers also belong. It is caused by a single-stranded ribonucleic acid RNA virus in the family Arenaviridia. These are some of the particles that have been prepared and stained, and that's micrograph of the viral particles. These are some of the West African countries where the disease is found to be endemic, including part of the Central African Republic. Same thing there. Lassa fever, I'm happy that in fact, let me use the opportunity also to congratulate the University of Benin for establishing a faculty of veterinary medicine in this university. And I guess that Akin is here, still here, some of the staff. When we say a disease is zoonotic, it is coming from an animal and transmissible to humans. And this is why those who are studying animals are very, very relevant in the scheme of things. They should be part of the control team in any society. When you say you are controlling any form of disease, whether it's zoonotic or non-zoonotic. The animal reservoir or host of Lassa virus is a rodent of the genus Mastomys, commonly known as the multi-mammate rat. Mastomys rats infected with Lassa virus, for our information, will not become ill. But they can shed the virus in their urine and in their feces. Because the clinicians in our hospitals and clinics, or rather the clinical cause of the disease is so variable, like we will hear very soon, detection of the disease in affected patients has been very, very difficult. However, when the presence of the disease is confirmed in any community, prompt isolation of affected patients, good infection protection and control practices, and rigorous contact tracing, like the last speaker once said, can help to stop the outbreak. Contact tracing is very important, as Dr. Rowa mentioned earlier. Now, why do we call it Lassa? Why Lassa? You say it's Lassa fever. Why that name Lassa? The name Lassa can be traced to the source of the first recorded and published outbreak of this disease, as indicated in the following account. In January 1969, Laura Wine took ill. She was a missionary nurse at the Church of the Brethren Mission, which was established in the 1920s in a remote village called Lassa, the then northeastern part of Nigeria, now known as Borno State. Wine had fever, a pain in the neck, and a sore throat. Her condition grew progressively worse, and she was transferred to another mission hospital, the Sudan Interior Mission Igam Memorial Hospital in Jos, some 700 kilometers away from Lassa village. Laura Wine died on the 26th of January 1969, barely 24 hours after admission into the Sudan Interior Mission Hospital in Jos. This strange disease, which soon after claimed the lives of several others, including health workers, was therefore named after the village Lassa, Nigeria, where Laura Wine, the first recorded victim, had worked. What are the signs and the symptoms of this dreaded disease? The signs and symptoms of Lassa fever typically occur 1 to 3 weeks after the patient comes into contact with the virus. The disease is characterized by an insidious onset of fever, malaise, muscle pains, sore throat, difficulty in swallowing, cough, diarrhea, vomiting, headache, chest and spinal muscle pains, conjunctivitis, and enlargement of cervical lymph nodes. The sore throat is usually accompanied by pharyngeal inflammation, often with whitish adherent exudates in the tonsillar region. The fever may last 2 to 3 weeks and is usually sustained at 39 degrees Celsius or even more. Patient may have swollen face and neck due to edema of the areas. This is often accompanied by pulmonary edema and usually cough. Petechial rashes may develop with hemorrhagic diastasis due to impaired blood coagulation and damage to the blood vessels, capillaries. Consequently, the stools, the vomitors, the sputum, and other areas of affected patients may be blood-stained, bleeding from the nose, the mouth, the gut, and other openings may also be noticed in some patients. Something that happens to most of the patients, whether they eventually die or they recover from the illness, that deafness develops in 5% of the patients and is often permanent if the patient survives the disease. Loss of hair, which I learned from my wife in those days as alopecia, is very common. Death in critical cases occurs between the 7th and the 18th day of illness. Approximately 15% of hospitalized patients die. The disease is more severe in pregnancy, and this is important. And we have recorded, particularly in Iraq, especially hospital, that fatal loss occurs in more than 80% of cases. Indeed, Iraq is about 96% of cases. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, can we please rise for a very short prayer? Please rise. Let us observe a minute silence for the thousands of Nigerians and others that have been lost to Lassa fever in the last 47 years in this country. May their souls rest in perfect peace. Please be seated. We had earlier said that the virus is known to be harbored in the urine, the blood, and feces of multi-mammate rats of the genus Mastomys. The species Mastomys natalensis is widely believed to be the main reservoir of this virus, although it is still unclear if other species also carry the virus. Major research is on, and we can extend it to the team here in Benin to join us in the search of the virus from any other rodent whatsoever, not merely Mastomys. The other areas of focus are research efforts that we will also get your team, Mr. VC, to report the research Lassa fever. This is that's how the rodents look like. It is not the long pointed mouth rodent that a lot of people ask us about. It is not. It is a brownish rodent. Color is usually brownish. You can see the tail here. The length of that tail is almost equal to the trunk of the length of the trunk of the body. That's one characteristic of Mastomys. And then if you turn it upside down, that's if you are able to catch one, you will find that it's a multi-mammate rat because there are a lot of mammary glands bilaterally positioned. Look at what you are seeing. Those white dots you are seeing on both sides are the mammary glands of the special rodent that carries this virus. It's not every other rodent that carries it. Because as the God, our creator, that ensures that in most homes there are rattles also, the common house rats. God ensures that these common house rats don't carry the virus as of now. Because when God created the entire world, he was very happy with his creation. He also created rodents, and he was still happy. But rodents carry certain deadly viruses that can kill even humans that God has created. But God ensures that there's a balance, that those things that live with humans who are his loved ones will not take their life unless humans decide on their own to do those things that are not right to be done. Just like we disobeyed God even in the Garden of Eden. Women were cuckoos, first cuckoos. You can see, like we're going to tell you, that this particular species or genus of rat, Mastronis, breeds very, very quickly and produces a lot of young ones, of springs. So many. That is what makes the distribution of the virus very efficient for them. Even though God did not want Mastronis in particular to be all over the world, because it's restricted for now to the West African sub-region. Why, I do not know, but later in this lecture, I will attempt to tell you why. So, several factors contribute to the relatively efficient spread of Lassa virus from infected rodents to humans. Mastronis rodents breed very frequently, producing large numbers of offspring, and are frequent in the savannas and forests of West and Central Africa, including East Africa. Mastronis generally readily colonize human homes when displaced from their natural habitat. This is why I say we should not sin. You have right, just like you have been created by God, to live well in your environment. But you don't have that right to displace others from their natural environment, like they do to rodents. These rodents they live naturally not too far from our homes. They live in the bush, not too far from homes. You know that at this time of the year, starting from November to about March, we say it is dry season in this country. Leaves are falling, are dry. It is very easy to burn bushes around us. And it is also a period for farming. We start our farming activities. And so when you do these two things, then you'll be disturbing the natural habitat of these rodents. And if you disturb them where they naturally live, they have no option than to come nearer to your home where they think that there is food available and there's also shelter. They have the right to live, of course. So Mastronis rodents generally colonize the home, like I said, and there are a number of ways in which the virus may be transmitted or spread to humans. Mastronis rodents drop the virus in urine on our floors when they come to the home. They may also drop the virus into uncovered food items in our kitchens. The virus can be transmitted through direct contact with these materials. It may spread through touching objects or eating contaminated foods such as fish, meat, unboiled curry, etc. It could spread through cuts of sauce, on our legs, on our shoes. The virus may be transmitted into the human body. It will also be transmitted through aerosols, tiny particles that are in which the virus is trapped. They also spread through person-to-person contact. When a person comes into contact with the virus in the blood, in the tissue, secretions, or excrements of an individual who has been infected with Lassa virus, especially during treatment. And that is where the medical doctors and nurses have to be very, very careful. Contact with the virus may occur when a person inhales tiny particles in the air, which we call aerosols, that have contaminated with the rodent excretions. We have earlier prayed. The bit I want to tell us now is pathetic. We want to remind us that this disease has been with us in this country for the last 47 years. Between 1969 and 2016. I want to say that there have been several serious Lassa fever epidemics that I recall in this country that have claimed over 100,000 lives. Studies also show that between 300,000 and 500,000 cases of Lassa fever, over 5,000 deaths occur annually within the West African sub-region. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let us briefly examine some of these major outbreaks of Lassa fever in Nigeria within this period, in order for us to understand the seriousness of the problem in this country that we are toying with, that governments over the years have not done much to control. Which governments make some noise, as we are making noise all over the place right now, because the disease is with us, the outbreak is still on. But which government goes to sleep soon after the disease has subsided, waiting again to start making some noise the following year during the dry season when the disease occurs again. Let us look at the first case that occurred in Jos 1969 to 1970. I will just take some selected outbreaks of Lassa fever between 1969 and today, because I have highlighted all of them in the write-up that they will distribute to you later, but I'll just select a few as example. The first recorded outbreak of Lassa fever in Nigeria, and indeed anywhere else in the world, was that which started with the case of Nurse Laura Wine in January 1969. Laura Wine was transferred from Lassa village to Jos, where she died. About a week later, in Jos, Nurse Charlotte Shaw, who cared for Laura Wine, exhibited the same symptoms and died on the 13th of February 1969. Dr. Trump, who performed the autopsy on Charlotte, also developed the same signs and symptoms and died 2 weeks later with the same symptoms. About a week after Charlotte's death, Nurse Lily Pinelli, who nursed both Laura and Charlotte, took ill on the 20th of February 1969. She exhibited same science, and was quickly transferred to the Columbia Presbyterian Hospital in New York, USA, where she was placed on intensive and supportive care and was transfused with serum that had been collected from Dr. Trump before he died. She recovered and was discharged on the 3rd of May 1969. The next outbreak occurred on 31st December 1969 in Jos, and by the 7th of February 1970, 23 cases of Lassa fever were admitted, 13 of them died, and 4 of those who died were hospital staff. Just to summarize that between 1979 and 1988, there were sporadic cases of Lassa fever reports, particularly from Zongwa and from Onitsha and from Panchi in the Plateau State. But this particular bit that I want to tell you is very dear to my heart. And if you ask me why I have been passionate about Lassa fever over the years, this is the reason. A major outbreak of Lassa fever in Nigeria occurred in Ekpoma from December 1989. But please take note that in 1969, I was in the National Veterinary Research Institute in Form near Jos when the first outbreak occurred. And in 1985, I had good reason for that matter, to transfer from Jos to Ekpoma, to the University in Ekpoma. So I was now in Ekpoma in 1989 when this next outbreak occurred. That's 20 years after. It was as if the Lassa thing was now pursuing us from Jos to Ekpoma. So a member of what happened in 1989 in Ekpoma almost wiped out a whole family in Ekpoma. A member of this family, Dr. Jeffrey Omoike, was my classmate at Holy Trinity Grammar School, Saboga. Permit me, ladies and gentlemen, to share with you the following personal experience. That the first outbreak, the Ekpoma episode occurred from 13 January 1989, when one Madam Omoike died at her residence in Ekpoma after some unsuccessful management by her second son, called Dr. Friday Omoike, a medical doctor. Following her death, from an unresolved persistent fever, the entire family was summoned to attend her funeral rites. On January 18, 1989, Dr. Geoffrey Omoike, the first son, joined the family from US. As the ceremonies were on, a 6-year-old member of the family died of similar symptoms to that of Madam Omoike, the same house. As if the confusion that followed was not enough, Madam Omoike's husband also died on 29th of January 1989, barely 2 weeks after the death of his wife. The atmosphere became fully charged. Rumor mongers had a field day. The local priest and oracle consultants hashed on the situation to make rich business. The gods of Ihumutumu were feared to have descended upon the people for some undisclosed reasons, perhaps visiting the sins of their fathers upon their children. A female house help was forced to confess that she was supernaturally responsible for all these deaths in the Omoike family. Herself, and indeed, some other house guests in Ekpoma at that time, including our own. I think my wife is there, you can remember. We had to send all of them packing because they believed it was witchcraft that were responsible for the deaths. So, meanwhile, my classmate Geoffrey departed Ekpoma in January 31st for his United States base, leaving his younger brother Friday to tidy up things at home. They arrived in Chicago on February 1st that year. Unknown to both of them, Geoffrey and Friday took ill of this strange fever, and Geoffrey died on 16 February 1959. Meanwhile, Friday was also critically ill in Nigeria. Both brothers were never to meet again. Friday also died in Nigeria of the same disease on the 18th of February 1989. An autopsy was performed, however, in the USA on Geoffrey, and it was reported that he died of an exotic Lassa fever, which he contracted while he was in Nigeria. So it was at this stage, actually, that the Center for Disease Control in Atlanta, Georgia, phoned Professor Tomori, my good friend, a virologist, was then based in Ibadan, UI. So it was he who had to rush down to Ekpoma to see me in my home that fateful Sunday evening, to tell me that he received a call from US claiming that some people are dying of strange disease in Ekpoma, and that it was not witchcraft, it was due to Lassa fever. So I asked him, so what do we do now? He said to me, we should go and investigate. We're not scientists. Let's go and investigate. Unfortunately for us, my wife was just around the corner, and she had us wanting to go to that area. She objected seriously. Fortunately, she only had the discussion after serving us that evening meal. Otherwise, maybe we would have been denied of the meal that evening. And then we managed to convince her that we are scientists. When you know about the danger ahead of you, you know how to also take care of yourself so that you avoid being contracting disease. So, we were reluctantly allowed or permitted by my wife to go to Humudumu. And then we also, at Humudumu, we also had a hell of a problem explaining to the surviving and convalescent members of that family that the deaths were not as a result of witchcraft, but due to Lassa fever. This will later confirm serologically on contacts and convalescent members of Omoike family. Like I said, I'm going to skip some of the diseases, the outbreaks within the period, but I must come to outbreak that we had in this country just in 2012. For that outbreak, at that time, the most devastating to that date was the one that occurred in 2012. The epidemic affected over 21 states of the Federation, including Federal Capital Territory. Mobility figures showed that 855 cases were reported between January 2012 and 20th April 2012, was within 4 months. Of these, 136 were confirmed Lassa virus positive, while 87 deaths were recorded. The states affected were Edo, Ondo, Delta, Rivers, Ebonyi, Kano, Yobe, Benue, Kaduna, Kogi, Oyo, Borno, Bauchi, Gombe, Taraba, Nasarawa, Adamawa, Abia, Lagos, Nambra, Imo State, and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. I think I should talk about this outbreak that occurred thereafter in 2014 and 2015. But even in 2013, that has escaped, there were some outbreaks, but not of the magnitude of the one that occurred in 2012. That escaped. But there were also sporadic cases of Lassa fever in 2014 and 2015. But you will recall that in 2014, we had the unfortunate incident of Ebola that occurred in West African sub-region for the first time, including here in Nigeria. But because Ebola was a new name here in this country, it obviously excludes, but nobody had wondered anymore about Lassa, because Ebola became the in thing at that time. Otherwise, Lassa still outbreak still occurred within that same period. So the general attention then was therefore focused on Ebola, which was not itself about Lassa 2014 and 2015. How about the current episode that is sweeping across the nation now? I want to say here, with all sincerity, that the 2016, the current outbreak, the awareness level has so increased. Perhaps this is happening because we had just recovered from Ebola not long ago. And this is happening in so many states again, like the one that occurred in 2012. And therefore, virtually every university, virtually every institution, virtually every state, including Edo State, now creates these jingles and spreading awareness. In fact, in all I have seen in the past 47 years of Lassa in this country, I've never witnessed this level of awareness that is being created by everybody. I think I want to congratulate Nigeria. So the ongoing Lassa fever epidemic in Nigeria appears to be of higher magnitude than any other outbreak we have so far seen in this country. It has been reported in 20 states so far. That's as of yesterday. The states are similar to the states where they occurred in 2012, except one. Exactly the same states. I'd like to inform us that the disease is endemic. After the first episode in 1969 in Plateau, the next major outbreak occurred in Ekpoma, Ekpoma and its environs. That was the next major outbreak in the country, 20 years after the first episode. And since then, it has remained endemic. and the high number of people, large number of people have been dying of Lassa fever in Ekpoma and its environs in Edo State over the years. What you have here is just a map showing the various areas where the disease that the outbreaks are occurring this year. The chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the above enumerated outbreaks of Lassa fever between 1969 and 2016, the disease has claimed over 100,000 lives in Nigeria. And of course, the big goes on unabated. Let us shift our focus from the magnitude of the public health impact is creating in this country as a result of the outbreaks. So those who might also be interested in how to diagnose the infection. Traditionally and professionally, clinicians are expected to examine patients and decide on their clinical diagnosis. At the outset, Lassa fever cases were new and strange to these people, especially doctors and nurses. To all of us at that time, the etiology of the disease was unclear. Indeed, not well known. The unsuspecting clinicians and nurses did not know that they were dealing with a new deadly viral hemorrhagic fever. This explains why most of them, doctors and nurses, died when they cared for Lassa fever patients. With sustained enlightenment and increased awareness, healthcare providers in particular and the general public now know more about these emerging infectious diseases. Over the years, Nigeria lacked adequate laboratory diagnostic facilities for confirming suspected cases of Lassa fever. Specimens were sent to either South Africa or to Germany or to USA for confirmation. I in particular saw this ugly situation as a major diagnostic challenge and a national embarrassment. Therefore, in 2005, we established the Lahore Research Laboratories and Medical Center here in Benin City to try to develop the molecular diagnostic and DNA research unit at that center. In 2007, I got connected with some friends, Professor Christian Happy and Professor Sabati, both at the Harvard University in the USA, who helped to strengthen our biotechnology laboratory unit at our research center in Benin. We finally succeeded in confirming Lassa fever cases in 2008 using polymerase chain reaction technology at the Lahore Research Laboratory Center. My foreign colleagues and I then extended this gesture to the IRWA Specialist Hospital IRWA in Edo State in order to strengthen the then ongoing efforts of the hospital authorities. As a result, the Lahore Research Laboratory Benin City and the National Lassa Fever Research and Control Institute in IRWA became the first two centers where Lassa fever is confirmed in this country. Other Lassa fever confirmatory centers in Nigeria today include the Nigeria CDC Virology Laboratory at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Lagos, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control Laboratory in Asokoro in Abuja, and the Nigeria Center for Disease Control Laboratory in UCH Ibadan. Apart from the very definitive and confirmatory tests using the reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reactor that is currently employed for detecting Lassa viral particles, it's important to note that other laboratory diagnostic procedures for Lassa fever would include fluorescent antibody technique or the use of enzymes in resolving serological assay, which detects immunoglobulin M and immunoglobulin G antibodies as well as Lassa antigen. Please permit me, there is no way I can make this simpler at this stage, but these are special terminologies that the medical laboratory scientists understand very well. At our center, this is what, if you apply that technology, this is the kind of result you will find with bands against G1, G2, G3, and the positive control there. And that is at the band where Lassa virus should be indicated if it is present in the specimen we are working with. The measurement of the presence of the virus in the blood and certain hematological and biochemical parameters will also be useful in laboratory confirmation of Lassa fever, which is usually characterized by a large chunk of the viruses in the bloodstream raised to that power, and then increased serum aspartate aminotransferase is one parameter we also measure in the laboratory. And then, of course, the depressed lymphocyte and platelet count in the patient. But the big one is here, and that is what control strategies and control measures we need to adopt in order to contain this dreaded disease called Lassa. How may we even treat it, if it is treatable? So, prevention, they say, is better than what? Cure. It is therefore mandatory for the nation to put in place sustainable preventive control strategies that will ensure the elimination or the drastic reduction of protein to human contact or prevent human to human transmission of disease. So the following preventive and control measures should be adopted. We must develop and maintain a culture of environmental hygiene and regular washing of our hands with soap and water. Most of us have started doing this about 3 years ago when we had Ebola cases. Ebola, Marburg virus, Ebola virus, Lassa virus are in the same family. They are all very deadly. And when they strike, the things that follow are usually bloodstained. That's why we say they are hemorrhagic. So we must continue to maintain these hygienic procedures. We must invite it for life. Anybody who goes out in the morning would have shaken hands with so many people, so many during the day. Don't go for burial, don't go for other activities in the day. I think it is only right to wash our hands when we get back home to our homes. Perhaps not only washing our hands, have a good bath. Enough before you eat and rest for the day. I used to work so hard in the day. All I used to do was to come home and just wash hands before I take my meal. Although I don't normally eat with my hands. Whatever. But my wife had to inculcate into me that it is only normal to have a bath before you rest for the day. Therefore, today, an hour wash of bath every evening. Thanks to rats must be prevented or eliminated from all our homes. Every hole or opening into our homes must be sealed up. Bush burning and farming activities, if we must carry them out, must be carried out very far away from our community homes, please. Eating of rodents should be discouraged, particularly at times like this. I don't know how to bring this when I give a lecture like this to the community, particularly in around my body, Benin. It is a delicacy over there. All these are roasted rodents, rats. They are also sold out. So over there is a delicacy. But if you must eat rodents, please prepare it very well. Make sure it is well roasted. In many cases, if you expose the virus to a raised temperature from about 60 degrees Celsius and above, or to a boiling point, for even 5 minutes, the virus is dead. Dead, because it's the protein. Coagulated, becomes coagulated and irreversible when it happens. But don't say don't quote me now. If you have the viral particles in the food that you have actually prepared well, very well, the organism is dead. You are indirectly immunizing yourself if you eat that stuff. Because what is vaccine actually after all? It's a dead or inactivated virus or pathogen that will not cause illness when you take it in. That is why they inject vaccines into us. Those vaccines contain hitherto living organisms that could have caused problems, but they have been so treated either by heat or by chemical inactivation and turned into what we now call vaccine. They are now turned into our system to elicit antibodies that will prevent us from contracting the illness in future. That is what vaccination is all about. But please don't put me that I'm saying you should eat everything that virus. We must ensure that domesticated cats, where we are saying that domesticated cats may be useful in our control measure, particularly if they are in our compounds, as they readily prey on rodents. But in word of caution here, as opposed to what that legislator in Abuja was proposing the other day, that the government should find money to buy cars so that two cars all over the place. Like humans, the rodent that carries this virus is immune to the virus. It doesn't cause them rodent anything, no harm, no sickness, no what. But the cats, if they pick the virus, can go down with the illness, just like humans do. Fortunately, cats, domesticated cats, live with us in homes over the years, but they prey on rattles, which does not carry this disease anyway. That is why you have been having a full romance with cats and all that around the world. But cats also have their own specific diseases that they can transmit to humans. That's my warning. So trapping of rodents in and around homes and occasional fumigation can also help to reduce rodent population. It is, however, pertinent to note that the major challenge in the control of Lassa is that complete elimination of rodents from our environment is almost impossible. almost impossible. It is therefore mandatory that all food items and water must remain properly covered in our homes. That's what it does to the rodents. But if you look at the rodent, the cat is sprayed here now, it's blackish in color. It's not mastomas, it's the stratus ratus, which does not carry the Lassa virus as of now. The doors of all our canned drinks and covers and necks of bottles or even plastic drinks must be washed with clean water before drinking. If you must use straw to take these items, you must also ensure that the straw itself is packed in a plastic container and is not exposed to the environment too. Garri grains must not be dried by spreading them along roadsides, as rodents can urinate or defecate on them. The urine and the feces of Mastomys catalensis, as the carrier rat, contain millions of the viral particles. For those who must soak garri, please listen. This advice came again from my wife that you could, because you buy garri from markets. You do not know how they prepare them. If you turn it into a bath, you would have added boiling water, and therefore the virus is likely to die. But if you will soak it, she said to me, why don't you advise them to, if they want soak garri, let them take a portion of the garri they bought, put it in the frying pan, raise the temperature and fry it again, and then put it down, put it in a plastic bag and seal it and keep it. So anything you want to soak garri, okay, thanks to several cases, particularly those not responding to anti-malaria or antibiotic, must immediately see their doctors and refer to the hospital as quickly as possible. The doctors and nurses and the laboratory scientists must wear personal protective equipment such as masks, gloves, gowns, goggles while dealing with febrile or Lassa fever patients or secretions or even their specimens. Barrier nursing or isolating infected patients on contact with unprotected persons until the disease has run its course is mandatory. Patients should receive supportive care consisting of maintenance of appropriate body fluids and electrolyte balance and necessary treatment of any other complicating infections. Now, vaccination is the most realistic and viable control measure. This has not been possible for Lassa fever over the years due to lack of funding and political will from government. This has been a serious challenge in the past 47 years. We are, however, happy to note that a combined team from the United States Army Medical Research Institute for Infectious Diseases and the public health agencies of Canada recently developed a promising vaccine for controlling Lassa fever. This life and harmless vaccine, which is wrapped in a strain of vaccinia virus, contains a protein produced by the Lassa virus. Once injected into the body, the presence of the Lassa protein stimulates a protective response from the immune system, and vaccinated people become protected. Discussions are currently going on concerning the possibility of carrying out human trials on this vaccine here in Nigeria. We're also lucky that ribavirin, an antiviral drug, which readily kills the virus, is currently available in injectable and in tablet forms for effective treatment of Lassa fever patients. Patients must, however, commence such treatment on time before the disease is allowed to progress to an irreversible stage. The rapid confirmation of cases with reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction technology, therefore, becomes very, very useful. I want to make some concluding comments. In this presentation, we have tried to highlight the ravaging scourge of Lassa fever in Nigeria. It lasts for 7 years, and the resultant deaths of over 100,000 of our citizens, in order to illustrate the public health significance of this zoonotic disease in our country. I believe that we are currently under-reporting the number of cases and deaths due to Lassa fever in this country. Literacy, customs, culture, and tradition certainly influence our reporting rates of diseases in Nigeria. I say this because only last night, I received a call from my friend, Tomori, from Abuja. He said to me, well, why are you not here in Abuja now? I said to him, we have a major outing in Benin, Akin today. I mean, the following day, that's tomorrow, I said yesterday night. And he said to me that they just got a report that the team are now assembled in Abuja, and as soon as I finish, I should join them because I'm a member of the team. And they got a report, latest report from Niger State, is that a number of people died within this period, not long ago. Initially, they did not want to report this. But when they now know that any state that reports deaths due to Lassa will be given some money, which amount of money, they now reported their own. But they said the reason why they did not want to report before is that they have a tradition and a custom in Niger State, in some villages in that state, and that these deaths that are happening now, these outbreaks, are coinciding with one of the things they normally do, and they just, anytime they establish a new market, many of their villages, someone must die. And anybody who reports about the death of that person to anybody will also die. Therefore, when people started dying about the months ago in Niger State, in those villages, they did not want to report so that they don't die. But now that they have had of enlightenment campaigns all over, they think that it will also be Lassa. But they are not still too convinced. They believe so much in their tradition that because they have established new markets, people must die, and that's probably why people are dying. So you can see the role of literacy and culture and customs that will lead to under-reporting of deaths. We are not aware as of date of any report of cases of Lassa fever in other continents of the world, except in Africa and specifically in the West African sub-region. This perhaps explains why governments in the developed countries show little or no interest or or give no financial support, or make no financial commitment to Lassa fever eradication. They see the disease as a regional problem, which is mainly endemic in West Africa. But still, Nigerian governments over the past 47 years have hitherto made some noise in the name of creating awareness during outbreaks, but goes to sleep at the time of each episode, and only waits for the game when the next outbreak occurs. So we have nearly remained late services from the government over the years. According to my friend Tomori, and this statement he made in 2013, let me quote, I'll make it report. He said, for 44 years, Lassa fever has remained an annual recurring budget of death for the poor people of Nigeria, because we have lived in a state of denial of the disease and handled it with characteristic laxity, laissez-faire, negligence, sloppiness, slackness, disregard, triviality, and freewheeling abandon. Unquote. He further lamented, despite the thousands of deaths from the fever, Nigeria is still unprepared to contain the disease. Waking up every year, an outbreak is reported, running like a decapitated chicken in every direction, and forgetting about the disease till another year of another outbreak. Personally, I have over the years advocated for accurate epidemiological data on the distribution, rodent molecular identification, and Lassa viral carriage by rodents according to geopolitical zones of this country. This has remained a major challenge, but the federal government is here to fund this proposal. In addition, our proposal on genetic studies on why masculine species are the Lassa carriers and why other rodents are not known to be or rather become susceptible to the viral infection is yet to be funded by government. Now, however, with the current government change agenda, and the Federal Ministry of Health recently inaugurated a national committee on the control of Lassa fever, with the main mandate of providing a holistic guidance on health, on one health approach, prevention and control of hemorrhagic fevers and other infectious disease outbreaks in Nigeria. As it to keep Professor Tomori and my humble self quiet, we appointed chairman and member of the above committee respectively. Now that you work with the government, probably will be a little bit quiet, you won't make too much sense. However, I believe that this is a step in the right direction, as no government has ever done this in the past 7 years. No government has ever set up a body to actually tackle and control Lassa fever, as this government has just done. So we think they are serious. We also think that directing us to see the possibility of using a new vaccine that has been developed in the US and Canada on our people in order to immunize and protect our people against the viral attack is a step also in the right direction. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I need to finally throw some posers. I hope you answer them. What is mankind doing to preserve the myriads of deadly pathogenic microbes that have continued to plague us over the years? First, it was tuberculosis, then HIV/AIDS, then polio, yellow fever, dengue fever, Ebola fever, Lassa fever, and all many other fevers. And now it is Zika viral infection that is taking the entire world. The entire world is now. What did mankind, where did mankind go wrong? The developed world is constantly afflicted with natural destructive forces in nature, such as earthquakes, tsunami floodings, heat waves, etc. While the developing world, like ours, is plagued with endemic deadly diseases. I think our Creator also knows that the developing world doesn't have capacity to cope with those deadly natural disasters. Is this how our Creator wants to punish mankind for their unending sins and corruption? Or could this be the strategy being adopted by our Creator for maintaining our global population dynamics? In fact, people have to die, balance out. May our Creator have mercy on all of us and direct us to do what is right always in Jesus' name. All the time. But also that we are ready to tackle them. I want to thank you most sincerely for this response.
Please, a better round of applause. Thanks. We are going to entertain a few questions, if any. If none, we just go straight to the next item on our program. Director of Health, please, your question.
I'd like to start on first. So I want to thank you for your relevant lecture. Actually, it's not a question, just a little digitalized information, because I happen to be with you as the National Council of Ethics the other day. And because the chairman of the committee, she said there are 2 centers. I want to say that they were made to understand that there are 6 centers existing, and the government has planned to add 6 new centers for diagnosing Lassa fever. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for that information. Let me further correct. Government says one thing to the public. People who are insiders, who know exactly what the position is. There are plans to establish more labs. 6 were said, 4 of them non-functional. Even after now, we are not going to mention them. We are hoping they'll be functional with the committee now taking over. Thank you for that information. Thank you very much for your lecture. Just a little observation. You, towards the end of your lecture, wondered about what we've done as God has decided to increase or to point out to this disease. And also about the rats, the virus. I just want to say that we haven't done anything particularly wrong. Even the rats are just as victims as we are. They're minding their own business, trying to live in their environment. The particular strain of that is caused carries the vector, doesn't want the virus. What is just able to live in the environment and eat and not even come to the house. Not the rattles that actually invade our houses every day. It's minding his business, but maybe we even bring the problem on ourselves by following the environment and chasing it out of its environment into our homes and bringing it home. But if it had a choice, it could not have the virus. So it's a victim. But even the virus itself doesn't want to be carried about to infect us. They would rather stay on their own if no rat brought them to us. So we as humans should be able to protect ourselves against these environmental organisms that share the same egg or same planet with us. If we maintain our own environment and mind our business, the rats, we keep them at bay, we do not harass them, then they will stay away and not bring any pathogenic organisms to us. I think that should be our objective. If any pathogens come to us, we have civilized enough. God has given us enough intelligence, much more than the land of the rats, much more than the gave to the rats, to protect ourselves, develop vaccines, clean our environment. Even this prospect shows that we clean our environment and keep the rats at bay, our children will be safe. So we should put our common sense. But I think you just said that this epidemic or this particular disease is only in West Africa. Why West Africa? Because our environment is so conducive to basic living. You wake up banana plantain and it's growing at your backyard, and you can just come and home and eat. You don't really eat too much. Whether it's not too cold or too hot, if you do nothing, you can plant the leaves, the cassava, and still survive. I think we have what we want intellect to be able to use our intellect to protect ourselves and protect the environment. But as long as we break the rules of environmental coexistence between us and other animals and viruses, bacteria that have the right to this planet, we create problems ourselves. That's what I see.
Thank you. The event doctor. Please to the provost.
Vice Chancellor, guest lecturer, I would just like to publicly acknowledge Dennis Agbonlahor and to say that he helped us to establish the Department of Medical Laboratory Sciences in the country. And ever since, he has always come back to help us whenever we call him. I thought that is an opportunity for me to acknowledge him publicly and to thank him for partnering with the college and for coming to the university every time it's called. Thank you, sir.
We'll just take a comment from the Emeritus Professor and one other, and we'll wrap up. Emeritus Professor. Yes, after Emeritus Professor, Madam.
That is a sequel to solvents. Or you can move away from this mystical cause index and death and come to the harsh reality that operating against you do not see. They are not looking at wizards. These are small things which affect our food, affect our water. But who found it? Having found water. You easily. The same problem that our view is for because we do not know. This is the problem that educating the public on this. That is step the right direction. Those who know cannot find now what programs so that government will not be able to meet all the requirements necessary to regulate this country. These are areas in which private industry, private business, and contribute either by knowledge or by education. Making those just there. This is very quiet.
Here, we discovered that will be found in Deuteronomy chapter 28. I think we listen to the voice of the Lord and do all that we have had today, and obey the elders, we find that.
So, Vice Chancellor, distinguished and gentlemen, I'd like to thank those who have made their comments and comments on one or two questions. The original question and short comments. But I agree with the comments. All of them are all correct. So that if we take our mind back to the beginning of creation itself, at the end of creation, God was very happy with all He had created. He was very happy with His creation. And He put everybody in that garden, which was a perfect ecosystem for all living things. I am a Christian, but I've always asked myself, why did God also go ahead to create other living things that can at will take the life of these beautiful people here? The microbes, pathogens, viruses, bacteria, and others. including these endless microbes that are now plaguing us. As we deal with the current one, others in future rear their ugly heads. And I say to myself, that perfect ecosystem, if we did not sing, like the last mentioned at the beginning, no chance to women who listen to Satan, and no chance to weaklings that are men who also took advice of their wives at that time. It would have remained a perfect ecosystem because that was what God wanted. But we think generally, and God caused everybody, including the serpent. It is this cause that is sailing on in tomorrow. You sin, but they don't obey God. And so you are punished. And then there should be a population dynamics. So as you give back to others to continue with the struggle for survival here on earth, then death. If the natural death is not fast enough, let's level it up by ensuring that microbes play some role. This is what is happening. If you ask me. Thank you very much.
What it means is that this life is everybody's business. Very close to Professor Agbonlahor's house, somebody said it was not my business. The man bought trap for the rat in the house. The trap was there for the rat, but the wife was not aware, and so the wife stepped on the trap. Meanwhile, when the trap was caught, the rat ran out and told the neighbors. So the hen, the goat, and cow, Oga don't set trap inside house. They told the rat, not only you, they stay inside, they concern us. And so rat was very sad, and the rat started minding its business inside the house. But unfortunately, the woman stepped on it. And with this I don't care attitude, they just used water to wash it. They didn't consult the Provost College of Medicine for tetanus injection. And so the woman contacted it, they said it was spiritual problem, and the woman died. Visitors started coming to visit them in their house. And so the first day when the visitors came, in annoyance, they took the trap and threw it away. The rat was still in the house. Visitors came, they saw that there was no meat in the house. They killed the fowl. The hen died. But when more persons came visiting, they needed more protein. They killed the goat. And when it was time for the burial, they killed the cow. The rat was still inside. It is not my business. It's no longer the order of the day. It should be our business. Before we wrap up the ceremony, Mr. Vice Chancellor has done everything possible to ensure that this Lassa Fever campaign is carried around the campus. That is why the Student Union Government, after today, will also begin their hosted campaign, so that we will tell ourselves what we need to know. And that exactly is what Mr. Vice Chancellor has done. Those who have heard tell those who are yet to hear. And when we all hear it, we believe that rats at times can be good and at times can be dangerous. MC Richman, please come closer, and thereafter I will take the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am here to talk about Lassa fever. For the first time, my name is Comedian Richman, aka Determination is Stronger than Witchcraft. You know, I have an open letter to Lassa fever.
What is it?
When bird flu came, we were asked not to eat chicken, and we reluctantly obeyed. After that, Sister Ebola came, and we were told not to eat bushmeat, and we also obeyed. Now, we have Lassa fever. Without the fear of God, Lassa fever has told us not to drink curry. Do you know the importance of curry to Nigerian economy, especially Nigerian students? Seriously. You know, it's amazing that we are gathered here today, professors, doctors, the vice chancellors, all the principal officers, because of that. As small as rats. And seriously, I've learned so much from our guest speaker. Thank you very much, sir. I've learned so much because, you know, back then in the hostel, we lived with rats for 3 or 4. And now I've just realized that the kind of rats that we have in the hostel are not the kind of rats that will give this virus. The kind of rats that we had was rats that normally would play with us, eat our food stuff, sleep on our bed. Sometimes when we cook, when Maggie not the rat will go hustle Maggie from the house. So there was this harmony. They're working together. Sometimes the rat follow the food, this Asha. Hey, when we go for night, rat will eat. When the family. So we have fun. You know, we are saying those things, you know what I'm talking about, Nabi? So we're kind of the ratu. Sometimes when we cook, soup, we just call out the rats. Talking about the pussy. No, so you know, I am proud to be associated with the University of Benin anytime, any day. If you are proud to be from this institution, a round of applause for yourself. Because today, Benin is going to become a center of excellence for Lassa fever research. And this is made possible by the proactive step of the Vice Chancellor, Professor Ekpoma, University. Sir, you are doing well. Thank you very much, sir, for bringing up something like this, to enlighten us so that we will know. It's very important. It's very important because knowledge is very vital. It's true. Because if you observe, it's only in Benin that you see say, want to go kill rats. Only Benin. Don't worry, when rats come across road, they look. That's what they anyhow. There is a synchronization. Seriously, and a little away from rats, you know, when you travel abroad, for some of us that have traveled abroad, you will know that there is a car tracking system. When you are going to a particular place, you don't need to ask where you are going to. You just enter the car. Mama, don't go abroad before. You shake it. Once you start the car, there is a direction and there is a voice. I'll just tell you, you are going to 45 Whitney Street, New York. Turn to your first turn on the right. Second turn on the left. There is traffic. You wait. Now go to the street on the left. We'll direct you and you will find your place. Don't go be sure. I just want to say they don't bring that in for Nigeria. For Nigeria, you day over or now. One more only your market side. To start the motto. You are going to only your markets. Now move. You are approaching Wasota. Oh, use your seat belt. FRSC time front. If they don't see you with your seat belt, you can settle there instantly with 5,000. If they take you to their office, it's 45,000. Now you are to St. Lucia. Oh, Oshomole boys are ahead. Please lock your car, lock the car. Because if you don't lock the car, you will jump in your vehicle. Keep slowly. Now, first turn on the right. You are connection. You go on the rise. You have TV road. Oh, take it easy. The road is not good. Too much color everywhere. Keep going. Keep going. Yes, you are Baptist High School. Turn to your left. Oh, I don't know this road again. For sure, they have to study road. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. May I now invite Dr. Lassa for the vote of thanks.
My task is very simple. I stand on existing principles. Mine is to say thank you. I suppose I can just say 7 thank yous with all the spiritual fullness and presume that I've done my part. I wish to particularly thank my employer, Professor FFO NYC, for finding time to ponder the issues of the ravages of Lassa fever in the country and the environment, and for him and his team of management to consider it worthy of investment of his cash resources to respond so meaningfully that I believe by now the entire campus and university community is agog with information on the prevention and control of Lassa fever. And that today is actually the high point of the part of that community mobilization to bring none other but Professor Dennis Agbonlahor, FAS, so that we can hear from the mouth, you say, of the horse, of the very guru. He was part of the origin of the discoveries of the realities of Lassa in the country, and perhaps the whole world. We are very grateful to the Vice Chancellor of Ambrose, if perhaps when he took the idea to his team of management, this piece of realized it, he would have been alone. We are really happily, I would say, I don't know how to use the word, we are so committed to the passion with which the BBC Akin and his colleague, the BBC administration, have truly encouraged us, given the task force the free hand to embark on social mobilization to see how many experts within the community that could be of, that could contribute meaningfully towards, I would say, using this opportunity for the development of the campus. The BBC, I appreciate your passion. The BBC administration, we appreciate your passion and support. The BBC Ekpoma, our father, each time he would see us in spite and not approvingly, I think we needed that approval. I'm not correcting. Everybody should come here and encourage us to give me a house. What can be more encouraging? We've had occasion to pursue of this great day. So we are around up to 7 p.m. But when you have people encouraging, you don't really feel the exhaustion. I prayed earnestly at Mass this morning to survive on my feet. Here I am still standing by the grace of God. I want to thank the librarian, the bursar, who has ensured that all the approvals have been provided us by Chief Executive Professor Ambrose. And from their footing, and we're able to ensure that it is the reality. Now we want to thank Professor Ambrose not surprised that the sat here very quietly because of his association with us, where they've had a very explosive outbreak. Professor, we are very, very grateful for your patience. We were one of the first to come here. All the things, the entire members of the Senate, all other special guests, Director of Health Services from the state. Now the SUJ, you are over 83,000 on campus. You really constitute over 90% of the population. It's really about you. And from all the jokes and the acting, it's clear you're familiar with rats. You coexist with them, and we've been told really it's as a result of the imbalance we have created. And perhaps, like your SUJ said passionately during the empowerment, you will now know that you need to give the environment clean, deny the rats of their desires for food, water, and hiding places. And we are grateful to the SUJ for partnering with our subcommittee on documentation on the campus class yesterday that actually mobilized students. We know not all of them are here because of classes, but we know very well that they are very, very informed. We implore the SUJ to kindly keep up the information. We are very, very grateful to the media. We are grateful to the schools that send their pupils. I can see my friends from the University of Benin. They really come out in large numbers to demonstrate the partnership. We especially acknowledge Mr. Benin, who indeed was a key resource person when we trained members of the health system, health services system of the university. Indeed, I do hope I know I might have left out some. Don't hear me. Thank you for coming. It's just the beginning. I'm looking forward, sir, to a time when we shall actually host a national conference on Lassa. We all believe very strongly at the very beginning in the launching pad towards becoming a center of excellence for Lassa research. And perhaps before I take my bow, the professor has pointed out the role of rats. It's only the females that have many breasts. That means half of the population of rats you wish to examine do not have breasts. That will now reduce the risk of handicap. Recently, sir, with your permission, the BM did a lot of articles, and there was an outreach, a big community campaign against rats, that people should attack rats and kill them with machine guns if necessary. And something interesting happened, sir. There was an upsurge of cases and more deaths. And what the reason that was found out in final analysis was that the campaign was not preceded by how to safely handle rats. Please handle rats with care, and you must use all the precautions. Read the instructions in our part of the country. The anti-rat pesticides we buy are usually not labeled. So please be careful. What can kill rats can kill human beings. And can also kill your baby pets. Please handle them with caution. They are potentially risky to handle. We can handle them. But so please, tie them, put them in a disposal bag. Don't try to bury them because ants can go there to scavenge on them. So the risk that can be associated with us. On that note, I want to thank you. I want to especially thank the team of task force members for their patience, their cooperation. It's a family. I really want to thank you. I want to thank you extremely. Thank you, professors. Thank you, my friends. Thank you, members of the support team. Thank you, the media. Thank you.
We want to thank Chief Dr. Egadosa for thanking us. Thank you, ma'am. Please, Mr. Vice Chancellor will now do a presentation to our guest lecturer. A presentation by Mr. Vice Chancellor to our guest lecturer.